Welcome to Santaroga Surplus. This is going to be the first of our gun cleaning chats because that's how I'm going to do my Q&As and my stuff right now. This is an SKS I picked up, and it's going to be one of the primary topics of discussion because what I want to talk about is the InRangeTV May Q&A video. There were a couple things in there that I thought they did not get right. And one of those things was a question about band state rifles. I have been asking questions about SKSs for a couple of months in their Patreon. I support them on Patreon, and I haven't gotten any answers yet. I think there might be some slight bias against the SKS going on with Carl, but well, we're going to talk about that. This is an SKS I picked up for $260. Numbers match everywhere. The magazine floor plate, the or body, the trigger guard, so the trigger group here. It seems like it's matching. Yeah, even the bolt, not just bolt carrier, but the bolt. Dust cover. It's a factory 9696, but it does have the military cartouche markings there, so maybe this was an export model. Who knows what the history is. It's a Poly USA, Atlanta, Georgia, so it's a later import. Based on this and some of the corrosion up here, but not anywhere in the receiver, sight block. I'm guessing this, and given this hard solidified rubber butt pad and the bolt in the dust cover, I'm guessing this was used as a hunting rifle. Someone probably had a scope mount on here, and it's just been through the woods an awful lot. A lot of this looks like re-bluing attempts, kind of muddy. And there's some exterior pitting. When I checked it out at the gun store, the barrel looked very nice, and it still looks very nice. So, I don't know. You can still pick these up. I'm a bit of a collector and amateur gunsmith, not a Bubba, hopefully. And I'm willing to work on these a little bit, so I got this one with the intent of redoing some of the stuff, like the butt plate. Possibly tapping this for a proper scope mount, refinishing. We'll see what happens. Whoever did this may be a production job, but whoever took the bayonet lug off did it right and did it well. So I'm kind of tempted to think it may have been imported that way. This is the import period where I was in the Middle East, and I don't really know. There's a lot I don't know about this. So here we have all the parts. In the InRange Q&A video, the question was asked about what you recommend for semi-automatic rifles for band states. That matches too. It's electro-penciled. And the answer that Carl gave was M1 Garand, which is great. Of course, I could buy 5 to 8 of these for the price of an M1 Garand right now, so it's a great answer if you can afford it. Let's take a look in here. You know what? The gas extension. This has been cleaned. That's a good sign because usually they're still covered in cosmoline. And the firing pin moves right, so I'm guessing this thing was taken care of at one point reasonably well. Now, the problem with the M1 Garand, aside from the price as an answer, is it just kind of ignores what other options you have. And the primary other option you have is the SKS. These things are still available for around $300, $350 in good shape. Non-collectible. You can still get CNRs, Curio and Relic, decent ones for around $400. And a lot of times those will be the Yugoslavian ones with the grenade launcher attachment and stuff. I don't have a problem with that. Some people do. I don't. The wood on this is very tight. The stock is very tight. Yeah, see? We'll have to see how that goes. Usually that is not difficult to do. So there's your solidified butt pad. We'll see how that goes too. The finish down here looks good. This was a hunting rifle. This was absolutely just a hunting rifle, somewhere where there's humidity. Not here, because we don't have a lot of humidity here. This is going to be fine as a re-blue refinish project. I might make some modifications to it. So where I think Carl and Ian erred in not mentioning the SKS is that if you get an SKS that has not been bubbaed severely, even if it's been bubbaed a little bit, you're okay, and it's not shot out, you have a lot of utility and a really good firearm. They are actually reasonably accurate. For the purposes that they're talking about on InRange, the short-range combatives, the up to 300-yard stuff, this is fine. This versus an M1 Garand, I'm really tempted to say I'll take this. I have fired some M1 Garands that did not work all that well, and that was probably age and maintenance and World War II surplus stuff. But it's happened, and that's as may be. I would take one of these. Stripper clips are not that bad once you know how to use them. There's actually a guy who does a lot of other videos now. His name is Grand Thumb, but if you go back, he used to do a thing before he joined up where he was doing the Master of the SKS, and you should see him. He got pretty good with running those stripper clips. I'm not a slouch. I can do it reasonably fast. I wouldn't want to go out and say, oh, I'm special. So, because then I'd end up getting my ass handed to me by somebody else. There we go. But, you know, not bad. These work just fine. And this is probably, if you're worried about bands coming down the turnpike, this is something you really want to get more of into your collection. Semi-automatic, non-detachable magazine, and these are still combat effective, and they are still used in conflicts in the Middle East today. I have actually seen them. That was back in the 90s. So this one will be fine. Come together nice. I would suggest you own one or two of these, if at all possible. And if you have the money for an M1 Garand and the care and maintenance, go for it. The other thing that they asked or answered in the question and answer, the Q&A video, was about pocket carry of pistols. And Carl made a couple of comments that I am in complete disagreement with about pocket carry. He said he would never pocket carry because in the amount of time it takes to draw a pocket pistol, he should have left the scene. I pocket carry. It's usually a backup. 95% of the time, this is a backup, and I have a shoulder holster most of the time, or a hip holster part of the time, with something else in it. This is always there, and there are times where I have to get a little more ultra conceal, and this is all I have. I do not carry with a round in the chamber in my pocket, even with a holster. I think it is ridiculously dumb unless you have a retention holster. And I know personally 2 people who have shot themselves with 380s carried in their pocket. So, not even going to go there. As for the speed of draw, I practice at least once a week. I will run a string with suicide sprints with my primary weapon, and it's like 2 shots, run, 2 shots, run, 2 shots, run, reload. I'll run through 2 magazines, whatever it is I'm carrying, and then I will draw and dump the pocket pistol. That's 6 shots for this, 7 shots if I'm carrying the P32, and I usually do not hit all 6 shots because I'm winded and I'm trying to do a dump. So, but it's 10 to 15 yards, and I usually hit 5, whether I'm shooting 7 or 6 shots. So that's fine. And it's usually not the first one that misses either. It's kind of weird. So it's not that slow. I'm usually at 1.7 to 2.3 seconds, including racking the slide. And I have another person who is an acquaintance who was on the news a couple years ago here in Nevada, who defended himself and his daughter from an assailant with a pocket-carried Keltec P3AT, and he carried chamber empty also. He pulled it out of his pocket, racked the slide, assailant ran away, and unfortunately for Carl's theory about leaving the confrontation in the time it takes to draw a pistol, the guy had a daughter, and he didn't actually ditch her. So I love Ian and Carl, but I would suggest, with all due respect, that they reconsider the sum total of universe situations surrounding armed self-defense. Yeah, pocket carry works. It's fine. I have an actual question for question and answer. Since I have 32 subscribers right now, it's only one question. Whoop-de-doo. This is my carry P64. I carry this one on the farm, and it shoots 9x18 Makarov, big fat 380 super, whatever. And what do I carry in it? I carry cellular and belloc, full metal jacket, ball ammo, military grade. It's fast, it penetrates well enough, it does not actually over penetrate, and it does the job. So the Makarov is right at the edge of where hollow points really become effective, and anything below this, I don't carry hollow points because you can't show me ammo with a good series of tests where it reliably expands all the time. It's not like a 9mm plus P. They're not. This is 32. Also, full metal jacket. And the Makarov, you know, I've butchered several animals, goats, pigs. I've shot coyotes out on the pasture with this. You know, I regularly practice with this at 50 yards. It's not that hard to do. And the FMJs hit, they go in, don't usually see them come out, they kind of bounce around a little. It's a lot like the 32 does. 380s tend to under-penetrate. This tends to hit the same level of penetration as the 32, and it works. I don't see a reason to spend a lot of money on a hollow point that goes and does less of a job. I certainly would not buy American production lawyer ammo. That's more relevant to 32 because I'll see 800 feet per second out of Remington 32, and this stuff's 1100 feet per second in my CZ50, VZ50, so there's no way I'm going to shoot the American ammo. I don't shoot hollow points in small calibers. Full metal jacket works. It tends to break one bone and bounce around. So that's my answer to that. This is also cellular and belloc, 73 grain FMJ for 32. This is what you carry. This is your go-to. This or the Fiocchi, 73 grain. It's mil-spec ammo. It's a little on the hot side. It goes fast, it goes in, and it bounces around. Someday, if you really want, I'll take a video of a goat skull, and you will go through a bone plate, and then you just kind of get jelly. Not that the brain isn't already jelly, but That's what you get. Works very well. If you are relying on massive cardiovascular damage to make up for not making a CNS shot with a pocket pistol, you're fooling yourself. All the statistical data says you're probably fooling yourself, and you're better off getting a little extra penetration and getting more nerves. It's my opinion. I'm basing this on butchering animals, shooting coyotes, and statistical analysis. So I am not an expert, but I carry the full metal jacket. Have a good one.